From rulebook shockers and etiquette meltdowns to culture war firestorms and goosebump heroics, these are the 25 most shocking moments in women's golf.
Yes! A lot of people in here today.
Yeah.
First, let's start with a moment that was so hilarious it ranked as one of the most memorable in golf history. Moment 1. Caitlin Clark at 2025 Annika Pro-Am.
You ever noticed how so many sports people are just brilliant athletes? I mean, they could turn their hand to...
When superstar athletes try another sport, the results are often unforgettable, for better or worse. At the June 2025 Annika Pro-Am, WNBA star Caitlin Clark swapped the court for the course, soaking up the sunshine and celebrity vibes. Then came her tee shot. After a few practice swings, she let one rip, only it veered wildly sideways and struck a spectator. Clark's face said it all. Instant regret and an apologetic wave. The crowd half laughed, half ducked. For one unlucky fan, it was a painful souvenir. For Clark, a reminder her golf game needs some serious polish. But if you thought a basketball star hitting a spectator was wild, wait until you hear about the Olympian whose biggest opponent was a no-smoking sign.
Oh, Jesus.
Moment 2. Charlie Hull, smoking on the course. In 2024, Charlie Hull arrived at the Olympics with a real shot at chasing gold. There was just one snag: the no-smoking rule. Now, I know what you're thinking. Smoking and elite sports don't exactly go hand in hand, but Hull has never fit neatly into the traditional athlete mold. She's been candid about lighting up on occasion, saying cigarettes help her manage ADHD and take the edge off during tense rounds. For her, it's part of the rhythm. The drama kicked off when Hull openly admitted that the smoking ban could throw her off her game, going so far as to suggest it might even cost her a medal. Imagine that, an Olympian saying, in essence, "I play better with a cigarette." Not exactly the poster image for the Olympic spirit. So, how did it all play out? In her opening round, Hull stumbled badly, carding an 81, well over par, and far from medal contention. Was the smoking ban the culprit? Maybe. Or maybe it was her shoulder, which she later revealed she'd injured in a freak slip in the shower before the games. Either way, the bigger takeaway was hard to ignore. Athletes lean on coping mechanisms, sometimes unconventional ones, and when those get taken away, the impact can be far greater than most of us realize. While Hull's struggles were tied to a controversial habit, the next person's game received a fail switch automatically, with no questions asked. Moment 3. Nelly Korda's uncharacteristic meltdown. At the start of 2024, Nelly Korda was untouchable. 6 wins in 7 starts, including a major, and talk of all-time greatness.
Oh my gosh, 6. I mean, I can't even really gather myself right now with that. The head-to-head that Hannah and I had pretty much all day. Wasn't my best stuff out there today, but fought really hard on the back 9, and it was just amazing.
Karen, out of the 72 players that made the cut, there's only been 5 birdies so far today on this hole. Make that 6.
Nelly Korda has the lead. That looked like it was trying to sneak left, didn't it? We had a great...
But then came a stunning collapse. At the US Women's Open, she carded a 10 on a par 3 and an opening 80, her first as a pro, missing the cut. Source: the slump deepened. At the Meyer LPGA Classic, she followed a 76 with a 67, still missing the cut, and at the Women's PGA, she hit rock bottom with an 81.
Beth Ann, what was that conversation like with Nelly after her round, and what did she say to you?
Well, it was just outside the scoring area, and she came over to the side, and I started to ask her a question, and then she had to walk away to compose herself. As you can imagine, she was really emotional.
From historic dominance to career lows in weeks, Korda's fall was shocking and humbling. But as painful as Korda's meltdown was, at least her fate was in her own hands. For one young rookie, a dream debut would be shattered by a mistake that wasn't even hers. Moment 4. Natta Vongtavilap. July 2023, US Women's Open at Pebble Beach. Enter Natta Vongtavilap, a 20-year-old rookie from Thailand. She's had a breakout season already, a runner-up finish at home, another top 6 right after. Now she's on one of golf's biggest stages, making her debut at the US Women's Open and at Pebble Beach of all places. She starts her round on the back 9, and everything looks steady, A birdie here, a bogey there. She's even par through 5 holes. For a young player in her very first major, that's exactly the kind of start you dream about. Then disaster strikes, and it has nothing to do with her swing. Her caddy, Jinsup Kim, is just doing his job, checking numbers, giving advice, keeping her calm. But then he pulls out a rangefinder. On most LPGA Tour stops, no problem. At the US Women's Open, strictly against the rules. The first time, it's a 2-stroke penalty. Painful, but not the end of the world. The second time, though, officials step in, and it's game over. Disqualified. In a blink, Vong Tavilap's promising debut went from steady golf at Pebble to packing her bags, all because her caddy used the wrong tool on the wrong course. A caddy's error is one thing, but what happens when one of the most meticulous and respected players on tour makes a mistake so big it costs her 7 strokes in a single round? Moment 5. Lydia Ko's 7-stroke penalty. It was one of those moments that left the golf world shaking its head. 2023, the Dana Open. Lydia Ko, one of the most polished, disciplined players in the game, looked set for another strong week. She was striking it well, climbing the leaderboard, everything on track. And then, out of nowhere, came a rules disaster nobody saw coming. Here's what went down. Ko thought she was allowed to prefer her lie, basically adjust her ball for a better position. She did it several times across the round. The problem? Those holes weren't marked for preferred lies. Not Ko, not her caddy, not even the officials walking with her realized it in the moment. By the time it was reported, it was too late. The penalty? 7 strokes. Yes, 7. In one swoop, a solid round turned into a train wreck. Ko tumbled from contention straight down the board. Fans were stunned. Commentators were stunned. This wasn't some rookie misstep. This was Lydia Ko, one of golf's sharpest and most detail-oriented players, tripped up by the sport's notoriously unforgiving rulebook. The lesson? In golf, the rules don't bend. No warnings, no do-overs. Just a crushing penalty and a leaderboard freefall to prove it. Ko took her shocking penalty in stride. But then there's the other side of the coin. What happens when a player gets penalized and simply refuses to accept it? Moment 6. Carlota Siganda's disqualification for refusing a penalty. There's one thing about Carlota Siganda that's been driving the golf world absolutely crazy. And no, it's not her swing. It's way more controversial than that. Flashback to the 2023 Evian Championship, one of the game's biggest majors. Siganda is in the middle of her second round when it happens. A slow play penalty. Nothing unusual. Slow play is in the rulebook, and usually, players accept it and move on. But not Siganda. She storms into the officials' tent and flat out refuses. They explain the situation, remind her of the rule, and stand firm. Siganda digs in her heels. When they hand her the card with the penalty marked, she won't sign it. The officials warn her, if you walk out without signing, you're disqualified. She walks out anyway. Just like that. Gone from a major championship because she wouldn't accept a slow play call. But that wasn't the end. Far from it. Fast forward to 2024, and a viral clip has the golf world in meltdown. Someone starts timing her during a final round. 15th hole, approach shot. She steps up, and the clock runs. 40 seconds pass, the recommended limit. Then a minute. She's still fidgeting, rehearsing, backing off. Finally, at 1 minute 24 seconds, she hits. That's more than double the time she's allowed. And here's the kicker. She won that tournament by a single shot. If officials had enforced the rule, she would have been out of contention completely. Fans were furious, some even calling for her to be banned. It's the kind of drama that makes you wonder. If Charlie Hull had been standing on that green, would she have walked off in protest too? And honestly, who could blame her? While Siganda was fighting the rules on the course, a much larger, more profound debate about the rules of eligibility was unfolding off of it. Moment 7. The LPGA's policy change on transgender athletes. In 2024, the LPGA, USGA, and R&A announced a major rule change. Only players female at birth, or who transitioned before male puberty, could compete in women's events. The decision immediately put golfers like Hailey Davidson in the spotlight. Davidson, who began her transition in 2015 and had gender reassignment surgery in 2021, was on the cusp of making history as the first transgender woman to earn LPGA status after strong play at Q School. The policy split opinion, some calling it fairness, others exclusion, leaving athletes like Davidson caught in the crossfire. From a debate over who gets to play, we turn to a moment where the rules of the game itself left everyone scratching their heads. Moment 8. Nelly Korda's controversial awarded eagle. At the 2021 Solheim Cup, drama unfolded when Nelly Korda's eagle putt on the 13th hole stopped just short of the cup. Believing it was finished, opponent Madeline Sagström picked up the ball and handed it back. But officials ruled Sagström acted too soon. Players must wait the full 10 seconds to see if the ball might drop. The decision awarded Korda the eagle, flipping the hole from a tie to a win for Team USA. Sagström, left in tears, became the latest victim of golf's strict and often baffling rulebook. But for every bizarre rule and moment of heartbreak, golf has a way of bringing in the smile on our faces, like it did in the next person's. Moment 9. Amy Bockerstedt at 2019 Phoenix Open, January 2019, Waste Management Phoenix Open. At TPC Scottsdale's raucous 16th hole, PGA Tour pros Gary Woodland and Matt Kuchar welcomed a special guest. 20-year-old Amy Bockerstedt, a golfer with Down syndrome, invited through the Special Olympics. With thousands watching, Amy's tee shot found a bunker. Woodland started toward her, ready to step in, but Amy stopped him with 3 unforgettable words. "I got this." She splashed out perfectly, then faced a 12-foot par putt. Same words, same confidence. She rolled it in. The crowd erupted, and golf gained one of its most inspiring moments. From a moment of pure sportsmanship and inspiration, we shift to one that ignited a fierce debate about the very ethics of on-course etiquette. Moment 10. The backstopping debate ignites. A friendly fist bump between Amy Olsen and Arja Jutanogarn sparked a significant controversy over backstopping. Olsen's chip shot struck Jutanogarn's ball, which was already on the green, stopping Olsen's ball closer to the hole. The cordial interaction between the two led to a widespread debate on the ethics of not marking a ball that could potentially aid another player. Up next is a rookie from Japan who reminded everyone that sometimes the most powerful strategy is just a smile. Moment 11. Hinako Shibuno's 2019 fairy tale. In 2019, Hinako Shibuno arrived at the AIG Women's Open for her first tournament outside Japan. She didn't speak the language, had never faced links golf, and yet carried herself with constant joy, smiling, waving to fans, chatting with her caddy. Soon, the rookie was nicknamed the Smiling Cinderella. But beneath the charm was steel. In the final round, Lizette Salas posted a blistering 65 to set the clubhouse lead at 17 under. Shibuno needed birdie on 18. With nerves of steel, she drained it, sealing a major championship on her very first attempt, celebrating, of course, with a smile. Moment 12. Lexi Thompson's trial by TV viewer. In a moment that rocked the golf world, Lexi Thompson was leading the ANA Inspiration, a major championship, when she was slapped with a 4-stroke penalty during the final round. A television viewer had emailed tour officials to point out that Thompson had incorrectly replaced her ball on the green the day before. The delayed ruling, which included 2 strokes for the infraction and 2 for signing an incorrect scorecard, cost her the victory and led to a change in the rules of golf regarding video evidence. Moment 13. Jessica Korda fires her caddy mid-round. In a highly unusual and public display of frustration, Jessica Korda fired her caddy, Jason Gilroyd, in the middle of the 3rd round of the US Women's Open. Her boyfriend took over the bag for the remainder of the tournament, a shocking on-course dismissal that drew significant attention. Moment 14. Anna Nordqvist's Sandy controversy. During a 3-hole playoff at the US Women's Open, Anna Nordqvist inadvertently touched a few grains of sand in a bunker with her club before her shot. The 2-stroke penalty was only revealed to her after her final shot of the playoff, while her opponent, Brittany Lang, was aware of the penalty before hers. This miscommunication and the penalty itself sparked a huge debate. Moment 15. Lydia Ko becomes the youngest world #1. At the astonishingly young age of 17, Lydia Ko reached the #1 spot in the women's world golf rankings. In doing so, she shattered the previous record held by Tiger Woods, who was 21 when he first reached the top of the men's rankings. Ko's precocious talent and ascent to the pinnacle of the sport was a truly shocking and historic achievement. Moment 16. Paige Spirinak's 2015 Dubai Ladies Masters debut. In 2015, Paige Spiranak made her pro debut at the Dubai Ladies Masters, but the spotlight wasn't on her game. At just 22, she'd built a huge online following, jumping from 500 to 100,000 followers almost overnight. A sponsor's invite followed, and so did backlash. Traditionalists branded her too flashy, and on the practice range, players literally avoided standing near her. Rumors turned cruel, including claims she'd used sexual favors to get in. Shaken, she shot 77-79 and missed the cut. Still, Spiranak turned the pain into purpose, building a massive platform and redefining success in golf her own way. Moment 17. Stacey Lewis's on-course outburst. In the final round, Stacey Lewis held a 6-shot lead, but faltered on the back nine with a double bogey at 11 and another bogey at 12. Frustration boiled over, and in a rare show of emotion, she slammed her putter against her bag. A shocking sight from the usually composed American star. But the release worked. After spotting her still comfortable lead on the next hole, Lewis steadied herself, found her rhythm, and closed out a 4-shot victory. It was one of 4 wins in 2012, a season that crowned her LPGA Player of the Year. It was one of 4 wins in 2012, a season that crowned her LPGA Player of the Year. Moment 18. The Dottie Pepper choking freaking dogs incident. While working as a television analyst for the Golf Channel during the Solheim Cup, Dottie Pepper made an infamous on-air comment. Believing she was on a commercial break, she referred to the American team as choking freaking dogs. The shocking remark was broadcast live and led to significant backlash. Moment 19. Michelle Y fires caddy by agent's call. Michelle Y's early career was as famous for her talent as it was for her revolving door of caddies. Take Greg Johnston, a veteran who'd won 4 majors with Julie Inkster and guided Wee to 7 top 5 finishes in 8 LPGA starts. After a respectable 26th at the British Open, Johnston was at Manchester Airport when his phone rang. Not Wee, not her parents, but her agent delivering the news. He was fired. No explanation, no goodbye. It became a pattern. Wee cycled through caddies so quickly it turned into a Golf World punchline, leaving everyone wondering what was really behind the carousel. Moment 20. Michelle Wee competes on the PGA Tour. Was a shocking and electrifying moment that brought massive attention to women's golf.
Charlie, can you imagine?
Moment 21. Annika Sorenstam plays PGA Tour. In May 2003, Annika Sorenstam made history as the first woman in 58 years to tee it up in a PGA Tour event, accepting a sponsor's exemption into the Bank of America Colonial. At the height of her dominance, coming off an 11-win season, she sought a new challenge. The move sparked controversy, with critics like Vijay Singh claiming she didn't belong. But Sorenstam responded with poise, shooting 71-74 to miss the cut by 4, yet finishing ahead of 11 men. More importantly, her courage inspired a new era for women's golf, cementing her legacy as both champion and trailblazer. Moment 22. Annika Sorenstam shoots a historic 59.
I would say that one of my best shots throughout my career is probably the tee shot at the 2003 Women's British.
Annika Sorenstam shocked the golf world by becoming the first, and, to this day, only woman to shoot a 59 in a professional tournament. Her incredible 13-under par round at the Standard Register Ping in Phoenix, Arizona, is considered one of the greatest rounds of golf ever played.
Tee shot, but just made one of my best swings ever.
Moment 23. Hank Haney's controversial comments. In 2019, famed swing coach Hank Haney turned a radio segment into a career crisis. On his Sirius XM show, while previewing the US Women's Open, Haney quipped he'd predict a Korean to win and joked he could guess players' names by simply saying Lee. The remarks were slammed as racist and dismissive, sparking immediate backlash. Michelle Wee, as both a Korean American and LPGA star, called his comments deeply insulting to women's golf and her heritage. Haney first brushed it off as humor, but the fallout was swift. He was suspended from Sirius XM and faced widespread condemnation. his apology came far too late. Moment 24. Michelle Wei and the great wrist injury debate. The 2007 Jin tribute delivered one of Michelle Wei's most debated moments. Struggling at 14 over through 16 holes, she was in danger of triggering the LPGA's dreaded Rule of 88, which bans non-members from future events if they card 88 or higher. Facing the possibility with 2 holes left, Wei suddenly withdrew, citing a nagging wrist injury. But controversy exploded days later when she was seen practicing ahead of the LPGA Championship. Many questioned whether the withdrawal was tactical, and even Annika Sorenstam blasted it as disrespectful. It was a rare public rebuke from one of golf's most respected voices. Moment 25. Se-Ri Pak's iconic water shot. In a moment that inspired a generation of South Korean golfers, Se-Ri Pak, then a 20-year-old rookie, found her ball in a water hazard during a playoff at the U.S. Women's Open. In a stunning display of courage and skill, she removed her shoes and socks, stepped into the water, and executed a brilliant recovery shot that helped her win the championship.
This was where Pak's drive landed. And without socks and shoes, but with plenty of courage, she hit the ball out.
And that wraps up our countdown of the 25 most shocking moments in women's golf. What moment shocked you the most? Did we miss one that you think deserves a spot on the list? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss another deep dive of the game we love. See you in the next video.